moved over.
Okay, so this call, y'all, might be one of my very favorite calls of all times. I'm just saying. So, Alita, most of y'all, if you have been to convention or if you've been around Plexus, know who Alita is. And I know a lot of you, some of y'all might be new, so you might not. But Alita is like, I don't even know. Scott should introduce her. She met Scott first. So she met Scott at Jewel Training. Right? You met him before you met him. Yes.
Yes. And so,
but her story, y'all, is just, there are no words. And her just whole everything about her life. She's joyful. She's happy. She's fun. She's encouraging. She's a rock star. Her team is growing. She just moved her family. Well, she's going to tell you all the story, so I'm not going to. But she's living in Canada now, and y'all know Canada is like wide open, and well, like everything is, but especially Canada because we just opened. And so, anyways, she is just precious, and every time I see her, it just makes me happy. And so, thank you so much for being on here, Alita, today. I'm just gonna let you take over. She's gonna tell us her story, give us some tips, and then if we have time, we're gonna ask a few questions if that's okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness! Thank you for having me on. And thank you for the most amazing introduction. I feel like we need to be best friends and you can just come with me everywhere I go. That made me feel so good on a Tuesday morning. So it is early here. It's 8:30 here. I am in Canada. We just moved here about 4 months ago. So big changes for my kids, big changes for our family. But an amazing opportunity to be closer to my family. I was born and raised out here. And I live on an island in Canada. So go figure. You can actually go diving here one day and golfing the next. It's beautiful to live out here with gorgeous winter trees. And it's also a huge opportunity for my business. So there was a lot of exciting things of why I chose to move back home. But for right now, those two things are at the top of the list. So my story is one that I'm always like, when I share it, people are like, you made me cry. I'm like, I'm sorry. You know, you don't always want to be known as the girl who makes people cry, but that's kind of the thing I get. So my story is one that I like to look at as redemptive, one that I like to look at as an opportunity to grow and to change and to learn and to build faith and to build skill sets that help me in my life, help me in my parenting, help me in my business. And so I started Plexus a little over 3 years ago after I don't know if y'all know the fiery redhead Jennifer Leith, but she's hilarious and super amazing. She had been, messaging me, for 18 months probably. She'd already gone diamond, and I homeschooled with her. We were in the same co-op, and I watched her go from having her water shut off to driving a Lexus and buying a new house. And I'm like, what is going on over there? But I was a homesteader. We lived on a farm. And we raised everything that we ate. We raised all of our meat, all of our vegetables. We had an aquaponic fish farm. We were like pretty genuine homesteaders. And we already took supplements and I just wasn't sure exactly what Plexus was. So I kind of snubbed it, And so when I finally decided to take it, of course, I was just like enthralled with it. I felt better. I mean, I was doing everything I knew to keep my body clean. And I still was just struggling so much. And so to feel better felt amazing. And so Jennifer really cast vision for me before I even started the products. She would always just, call out what she saw in me. And that's what I love to think about when I'm messaging people is, am I calling out good in them? Am I calling out what they're amazing at? Am I calling out the vision I have over them? The vision that I'm speaking over them? And I just love, when I sometimes go back and read those messages, I'm like, man, she was vision casting before I started. And that helped so much. So when I first started the products, I was already interested in at least getting my products covered. And it took me 17 days to go silver. And the next month, we went gold. I had 2 friends. I grabbed some running partners. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do this. And my husband really championed me, really cheerleaded me into doing this. He's like, girl, I want to be a kit man, so let's do this, okay? He's like, you can do it. We want a Lexus. He crashed me up. So that was fun. And when I hit Senior Ruby 2 days before convention, which would have been technically my first convention, he passed away suddenly. And so that obviously threw a huge wrench into my life and into my business and into my home and all those things. And so I had an opportunity, and I remember clear as day. I hope I'm not just rambling. I'm kind of just, sharing the highlights of my story here.
You're doing amazing. It's already my favorite. I'm not even kidding.
You're so sweet. So I remember clear as day. It was about 3 days after he passed away. And I remember waking up that morning and really like seeing it like a fork in the road. Almost like I could see it in my mind, like a vision kind of sort of thing. And it was like, I have a choice here. I can choose to walk this out with grace and humility and knowing that I'm going to need help and knowing that this is going to be hard, but that I have a choice with how I handle this. Or I can go down the road where I just allow life to happen to me. And I just hope that something good happens. And so I decided that morning to go to Lowe's, which is like a home hardware store. I went to Lowe's and I got the biggest piece of tub tile I could, and I covered my wall. I took my very first power drill for the very first time for my husband's toolbox, and I nailed that sucker right up on my wall. And I wrote down, I am victorious. I am an overcomer. I can do all things. I just started writing down all the things that I knew that I wanted to fill my mind with, because we're filling our minds with something. And so often we never pay attention to what we're filling our minds with because we let life happen to us. And I realized that, man, I have so much control over what I put in my mind that I never paid attention to it. So I saw a huge shift. 3 months after doing that, we were an Emerald team. And I have such a strong passion for affirmations and for mindset, because I think that what happens is that we get comfortable playing the victim. We get addicted to feeling bad. We get sort of like, okay, well, this is just my life and this is just how it happens. And this is just my story and I can never get out of this particular circumstance. And what I've learned is that is not true. And if I could just come through this screen and like hold your faces and be like, that is not true. You are worth it. You are enough. You deserve it. And you have a choice. You have a choice, because it's kind of scary when you start thinking about, what if things went right? What if I actually felt good? What if, even though my husband's passed away, my mom has passed away, then my dad passed away, all within just under 2 years? What if all that's happening to me and yet I still feel a deep joy, not a fake joy, not a get up and put a pep in my step because I'm trying to force it, but a deep joy, a deep understanding that life is really freaking short. And I want to make the most out of it, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that looks like for me. I want to make the most out of it, not based on someone's opinion of me, not based on what somebody wants me to be, but what I feel like my calling in life is. And I got seriously serious about getting some clarity on what I wanted. I wrote down, I have goals, but my goals don't look like most people's, because I'm what you would call like a blue sort of winger. I just like to wing things and hope for the best. Like, that's kind of always been my personality. And it's fun to me. But I also realized I needed to be clear. So my goal setting is very fancy. So get ready for this. You're going to love it. I took a plain piece of paper from the computer and I drew, 300 circles for Emerald. And I said, okay, I need 300 orders to go through from 1 to 5 levels 1 to 3. And then I drew, some more on the bottom in case I had some 4s and 5s and 6s that did. And I just started checking those puppies off when people would order. And I started looking, okay, where are those, where are those points going to come from? And how am I going to do this? And who can I impact to want to do this? And it really helped me get clear for going for Emerald. And then, and then I kind of went through this season where my dad had passed away and we moved out to Canada, and I was not as diligent with my affirmations, with my personal growth. And I could tell a huge difference just in how I was attacking my everyday and how I was being intentional. And all of a sudden I caught myself just letting life happen to me. So business is great. That's fun. Life is good. I'm enjoying my life, but I was just letting life happen to me. And I wasn't being intentional. I was letting things slip past me that normally I would have been like, that was an opportunity to grow. Or I was getting frustrated with certain relationships because I was outward focused and not really thinking about, what is my perspective, and how am I feeling, and what am I pouring into myself, the good you're pouring in. Because again, it doesn't matter, like, you're going to have stuff, you're going to be thinking about stuff all day long, right? So why not think on good things? Why not think on abundant things? We have this scarcity mindset that just, I mean, man, when I've been doing a lot of work on scarcity mindset and really recognizing I have it all over my kitchen. I should send a picture into a thread somewhere for you guys to see. I put up affirmations on ginormous pink sticky notes. Again, I'm very glamorous and very organized. And I put it all over my kitchen. And I started just saying, I am grateful for this. I am grateful for that. I'm excited for this. And I just started putting up affirmations, and I put on a huge whiteboard in my living room, which my kids draw on sometimes, but I erase it and put it back up, is what am I focusing on? And if you walk away with nothing from this call other than that question, I challenge you to ask yourself every minute you can, what am I focusing on? Because I think we probably all have heard that what we focus on expands, but do we believe that? If you're focused on the lack of points, if you're focused on the lack of team members who want to join, if you're focused on the lack of comments that you get on your Facebook, if you are focused on the lack of support from your spouse, then that's all you're going to see, and that's all that's going to expand. But if you flip that and you think, oh my goodness, I had a conversation the other day, and I thought, I had this sort of just realization, we're focused on, if we're focused on lack of points, and then we're like, well, our spouse just is not supporting us. I would tend to think, maybe I'm wrong, but I would tend to think, do you think that maybe they're picking up on the energy that you're really stressed out because your points are lacking and that things aren't going the way you want it to? And so they're actually really loving you and trying to protect you because they think, well, this is not making you, happy. But if you change your perspective and you're like, man, I'm making money here. I'm getting points, and our team is growing, and I can't wait. Every single new ambassador or customer that joins your team is a victory. It is a victory. Every point increase is a victory. And every point loss is an opportunity to grow. I love slow seasons in my business. I didn't used to. I used to try to muscle through them, but I love them because I see it as an opportunity to improve what I'm doing, to improve. So when we have huge amounts of people joining, am I prepared? So if you're a silver on here, what are you going to do at Emerald to really help an Emerald sized team growing and duplicating? Do you have some videos in your back pocket that you're sending out? Do you have a welcome email? I don't know what you all use, but what is your system? Write it down. Write your system down. Talk to your upline about your system. What is your system of duplication? Because if you don't have it now, it's going to be harder to implement as you get bigger. And so really focusing on, I love that. I love that as a Sapphire ambassador, I can sit down and look in a slower season and say, how can I improve to make sure that the next flood of people, because I know it's coming, because I believe it, I know it to be true, and I'm manifesting it, and I'm affirming it. So I know that's going to happen, but am I doing due diligence on my part, or am I just sitting there whining that nobody is joining? You see what I'm saying? So it's a flip of the mind. Thank God for this slow season where I can really improve my skill set. Am I offering events, or am I waiting on my big team to have them? Am I offering sip-and-sees for people that are joining? What am I doing to provide the best duplication system for my team when they're joining? I had heard a Brooke Hemingway video one time where she said, you know, when you're at the rank you're at, it's for a reason. It's because you're growing there. And it's not a bad thing, and it's not something to be looked at as a defeat, but to be encouraged. I get so encouraged by that. I am a super dang proud Sapphire ambassador. I will be a very super dang proud ambassador until I'm diamond. I was a really, really proud emerald. I'm a super proud senior gold, because it was an opportunity that I could never do. I don't have I was going to say a high school degree. I have a high school degree, but that's all I have. I don't have a university degree. And had Jen Leith not shared with me and not cast vision with me and not given up, not just messaged me twice when I politely said no, and then never talked to me about it again, she built that relationship. She kept with it for 18 months. She probably messaged me, I would say, at least once a month, if not every 6 weeks. And I think, oh my Lanta, where would I be without Plexus? I mean, truthfully, and what if it wasn't just about us, but what about your friend down the road? What if you have an Alita in your network that is happily married, wonderful family, great income, and her husband suddenly dies and has no life insurance? Like, you don't know what all the providential things in your life, and yet we get so stuck in our mind that it's about us and what we're doing wrong or what we're not doing enough of, and we miss the point. The point is you're changing lives. Keep it simple in your mind. Keep it even simpler in your heart, that you are there to impact people. And that, when you start to feel that way, consistency is not going to be an issue. If consistency is an issue for you, I would ask you, what are you focusing on? What are you spending your time thinking about? Because if you're thinking about making an impact, if you're thinking about, bettering your future for your family, you're going to be consistent. Your passion is going to be high. And I always say passion beats out Netflix any day of the week. Passion's going to give you that 15 minutes of what I call no fear zone, where I will message, just anybody. Passion will give you that encouragement to get you through those harder times, because this is a journey. But I cannot imagine, not just financially and not just time freedom, but who I would be and how I would be able to handle life circumstances that we all have. My hard sounds hard because I've had, a tragic, it's like a tragic play has happened in my life. But your heart is hard too. And if you would have asked me 3 years ago when I first started Plexus, I was like, well, this is hard. There's hard seasons in this. And I had a super supportive spouse. I also had a spouse that was like sometimes irritated with me, right? I've done this married. I've done it single. I've done it with, little bitty babies. And I've done it with toddlers by myself. And I can tell you that you can do this no matter what your circumstances are, 100%, no matter what you look like. Gosh, when I first started, I was not wearing Kendra Scott earrings and had long lashes, okay? I was like literally in the milk barn, no joke, on my first videos, holding a baby, just talking away. And I realized it's like, I just did it. I just stepped out of my comfort zone and I just did it. I wasn't worried about what I looked like or what I said or what that was, what I just did it. And that would be my next big tip, is just do it. Don't worry so much about what people think. Really don't, because at the end of the day, I remember going home. I had just hit gold. I remember coming back to visit my parents and my family. We had a big family reunion, and everyone was kind of teasing me about Plexus. And I was so, I'd go bright red. I'm one of those girls that go bright red. I hate when teachers called on me because I'm like, literally look like a lobster. And I'd go bright red, and I would just kind of get this like passionate thing in me. And I'm just like, well, you make fun of me, but you watch out. And I'll tell you, that every person who ever made fun of me or ever was mean to me about it has all come back and said, we're so grateful that you have this. We're so grateful. They have all signed up with me, and and I am so glad to have that hindsight. And if I could go back and tell that Alita anything, I would say, girl, you don't even need to be red in the face, because nobody gets to tell you what you can and cannot do. And if I came over to you and said, Diane, girl, you can do this. Here is the keys to your business. Here are the keys to your future. All you have to do is believe in yourself, be passionate, and share with as many people as you can. We would Plexus would be everywhere. The biggest thing that stops us is our self-belief. We stand in our own way so often. And even for me in this season of my life, I've been standing in my way, and I'm seeing it, and I'm realizing it. So it's back to the old affirmations everywhere, and to really realizing what my capability is. Sometimes I think, well, I'm not queen on Instagram. Y'all, I've either got 800 stories going or 0 for days. There's no in between for me. I'm like, I'll post something and then I forget I even have Instagram. It's the weirdest thing. It's like bizarre. I'm like, I'm not Instagram queen. I'm not a rock star recruiter. I'm not signing up hundreds of people a month. I'm not that good of a speaker. I can't talk like that person. Or, well, I'm not thin. I got some thighs, and I got some hips, and I don't look like everybody else. So freaking what? So what? I do have something to offer. I do have something of value. And so do you, Miss Diane. I'm just picking on you because you're on my screen, and so do you. You have a voice. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom with no job and you're just working Plexus and you're thinking, what do I have to offer? You have experience. You have your unique perspective to share with the world. There is always something to share. And you are special, and you are unique, and you have something of major value to put into your network. And Plexus is a massive vehicle to use that and to share that and to grow a business and to grow a platform and to grow in your confidence. I'm going to suggest a podcast to you if you guys don't mind, and then I'm going to shut up because I feel like I've been talking forever. Let me see what time it is. Okay, 20 minutes. So this podcast is Preston Pugmire. It's number 39. And for the life of me right now, of course, I can't remember her name that he's interviewing, but she is a golf person. She's a golfer. A golfist? I don't know what you call them. Anyway, she's a golfery. So she is like this. She was 18 and got all this stuff, and now she's this coach and coaches on confidence. And I messaged that to almost every single person on my team, and I was like, you have to listen to this, because she talks about, she was a woman in a man's world. She had everything kind of going against her. She didn't have a lot of stuff. She goes, I didn't have a lot of natural talent. She goes, but what I did have was hard work. I would wake up and I would do the hard work. I would train, I would practice, I would do the hard work. And for some people, you're going to hear different stories of they signed up and they went Emerald, the next day. That's amazing. And that is truly incredible. And for some people, like my story, I worked hard every day. I got up every day. I did my IPAs. I do my IPAs every day. And that's what my journey looks like. It looks like getting on calls. It looks like having events. It looks like, pouring into relationships. And everyone's going to look different. But she said, I had hard work. And she's like, I grew my confidence. And she gives really practical steps to growing your confidence. It's number 39 on his podcast. And his podcast is called Level Up. And it's number 39. And it's so good. And then also, of course, Rachel Hollis and John Maxwell's. I've listened to that like 100 times. It's so powerful. It's so good. And I think, you know, um, what I would love to leave you with before we do questions is that if no one's told you, maybe in your entire life, but if no one's told you lately that you are amazing and that you have something of incredible value to offer the people around you, I want to tell you that because you do. And you are made for big things. And there's room for everybody to do that. It is an abundant world out there. Thanks for having me on, Beth.
I mean, I think we're going to need you on like once a month or once a week or something. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, there are like no words for what you just did. Like, for everybody on this and for the people that are going to be listening, because there will be people listening, and I'm sure people on here will probably go back and listen to this again, because what you just did was change somebody's life on this call, change somebody's day on this call. And so, you know, we had a Zoom just a couple of, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Off the top of my head, I can't remember who it was. I don't know why, but I'm sure. Like, anyways, and I know who. I'll think about it here in a second. But anyways, and they talked about the people that are put 3 feet in your like getting your three. I can't even talk. And 3 feet of you were put there for a divine purpose. And like, so like y'all, we're 3 feet from her, even though she's in Canada, we're 3 feet. But I think that you've absolutely changed somebody's life today. And maybe even, you know, they could have been having a really crappy day and you just fixed that. And so, but you're so wise. And I mean, I love that. I didn't even know what I was going to say when I introduced you, but joy is what comes to mind when I'm around you, when I see you. And you mentioned joy in there. And I just, you know, it's a real cool journey that we're on, you know. And I think I've heard this, someone else said something similar this week, not on a Zoom, just in talking about how you have to look at, you know, look at whose life it could change. You don't know, what anybody's going through. You don't know what anybody's going to be going through, but this can change somebody's life. And so, you know, we can't look at it as I'm trying to hit another rank. We can't look at it as I'm trying to win that contest goal. Yes, those are amazing things, and those are amazing goals that we need to strive for. I'm not saying that by any means, but we need to think about whose life could we be changing? Whose life that we don't even know, that they don't even know that they need this, but in 6 months, in 2 years, this is exactly what they needed. And we all know that God gave us this for an absolute reason, and he put this in our life, even though some of us, including myself, are like, absolutely not. But, you know, I think God laughs like on a daily basis, because I was like, no. Thank goodness for Celeste, who is like, whatever, you know. Anyways, but it is because you look at the people and you look at how many lives have been changed through this amazing journey. And I truly believe that God's hand is all over it. So anyways, thank you. You're amazing. And I knew that when you said yes, that it was going to be off the charts amazing. I knew it'd be one of my favorite ever, and I'm not wrong. So
well, girl, you and your husband are just some of my very favorite people. I love seeing you guys at convention. You're always so encouraging to me. It's so sweet. I just love you guys. You have such a sweet spirit that's just so, you know, sweet and tenacious all at the same time. And you're killing it. So just so proud of you.
You're so precious. Okay, guys. All right. Any questions? Why don't y'all type them out, since there's some, you know, more than we had on earlier. If anyone has any questions. Hey, do you want to just give us like I do not, like, you're the only person I know that lives in, well, not the only person, because I know a couple Plexus people, but like the only people I know in Plexus in Canada are Plexus people. So do you want to give us, like, do you have a couple of tips on, because it is open there now. And so like,
I would definitely say if you know any Canadians, get on it. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is so it's slightly different. We don't have the triplex here. We don't have ProBio 5. So we have Vital Biome, the Microbiome Slim, and like BioCleanse, X Factor, Mega X. Those are the kind of our
order it for yourself though, correct? Or no? Can you not even order it for yourself?
You can order it for yourself, but it's not in a welcome pack. And so it's harder, like NFR is a little bit different to get, a little more expensive, but It is available to us,
Okay.
just not. There are a couple products that aren't available at all. I think the only one I'm thinking of is Nerve, but the rest is available. But it's Health Canada approved, and that's huge. That's like being FDA approved. And Canada's really, really strict on what we let in. So the fact that all of that is, Health Canada approved is huge. Like that's even something you could even start saying for your American potentials. Is like, well, it's Health Canada approved, and they're way more strict. It's just that the FDA doesn't. We all know that doesn't approve or disapprove.
Right.
But the fact that Health Canada did is really tremendous. And it's ground floor opportunity. I mean, imagine getting into Plexus, with Sheila Medina and Helen McFadden's and all of that, and except for not having white packets with no branding, actually having amazing tools to use. And that's what Canada is. It's wide open. Right now we have 2 Canadian diamonds, Eva and her husband, Andrew, who are amazing. I just love them. And they're in Alberta. And we have Krista, who's a sapphire, and I'm a sapphire. I'm in BC and she's in Nova Scotia. So you're talking like, wide open. And then I think there's 8 jewels in total in Canada. So if that lets you know anything, on a country that's massive, for 8 jewels is really exciting. And so there's a wide open network out here for that.
So, challenge for the day. If you know anybody in Canada, you need to contact them today.
Yes.
Seriously. Anything else, guys? Do y'all want to ask her anything? She's open for just a couple minutes if y'all have any questions. I think a couple people look like they're typing, so let's do it. You can tell. Oh, yeah. She said she was a sapphire. There's 2 sapphires. You and who's the other sapphire?
Krista Howland.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, I just started remembering my neighbor down the street who does order Probio 5 and thinks it's the best. Her husband actually is a Dallas Cowboy, and he is from Canada. They were actually there last year.
Oh, cool.
From the French-speaking Canada side, wherever that is. Where is that? In Montreal.
Where was he from?
They're from Montreal. Yeah, Montreal.
Oh, okay.
I don't speak
they're French. They're probably French speaking.
They are. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Angela, she's tapping your question. I can tell she's concentrating. So, are you singing this year?
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah. It's such an honor every time. I'm just like, what? That's so awesome and so sweet.
Like
I just
every time, like your words. Obviously your singing is off the chart. If y'all haven't heard her sing, just go Google her. Seriously, like she is crazy, in a good way. She has closed out convention, right? Didn't you close them out the past 2 years?
Yeah, they gave me pyro. I should message back and be like, I'm only gonna sing if I get fireworks again, because that was the best.
That was so fun. And so, but anyways, like tears flowing, because like the words to your songs are just like, y'all just heard her do this. Like, you should listen to her songs. They're just,
you are so encouraging.
Well,
you are so encouraging, because I know I almost didn't record any of those stuff. I get nervous about shit.
Oh, you got to go download them. Legacy, tell them, live a legacy, right? What is the name?
Yeah, it's Leave a Legacy and Grateful Daughter.
Yeah.
And there's also a cool one called Made Brave that a lot of people on my team really love and enjoy.
Go blare those today. For real.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I struggle with events. What is your best tactic for getting people to events?
Awesome. First of all, mindset. There's no need to struggle. I love just calling people and being like, hey, let's go for coffee, and why don't you bring a couple of your friends, and let's just share Plexus with them. I try to keep it really casual. I'm not a PowerPoint girl.
Amen.
So I'm not a script girl. I'm like, this is what I tell everybody. I say on my team, it's like, no, 2 things about the Slim, 2 things about the Probio 5, and 2 things about BioCleanse. That's it. Get up, share it, say it's amazing, and this is how it's changed my life. Have another person share how it's changed their life, and that's it. Then let people ask questions. I keep them really short and sweet, and I think that really inviting people and really kind of keeping, you know, just your mindset in a place where it's like, I'm just going to keep doing them. Golly, I've done so many sip and sees where nobody showed up. I mean, that's just par for the course in my mind. So you just keep on doing them.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that any Jewel will tell you that I mean, people don't show up sometimes. It is what it is. You may have 10 people say they're coming, and then 30 minutes before you start getting the text, right? I'm not kidding.
Yes, totally.
It is what it is. But it can stop you or it can push you. I mean, don't let it stop you. And I think mindset is huge.
Yes.
If you have one or two.
I saw this next question come in that you haven't lost weight and you're wondering how to do that. So, I definitely would say, you know, everyone's at a different place in their journey, and everyone is going to get different results from the products. Okay. So like, I'm very much be a product of the product, make sure you're taking the products, drinking your water, you know, all of those things. But at the end of the day, I don't have diabetes. I don't have migraines. I don't have autoimmune issues. So I could never, like, that doesn't mean that I can never say, hey, this could help you with this, you know, diabetes, or help you with autoimmune. And I look at it the same way with weight. It can help you with weight. It can help you. I use the word weight management because some people need to gain it. Some people want to lose it, because I've seen the skinniest people be like, I need to lose some weight. And I've seen, you know, some of my bigger sisters be like, I feel amazing. You know, it just depends on where you're at. And I think the minute that we start judging it in ourselves is the minute we start thinking other people are judging it. And I don't let my mind go there ever. So I hope that kind of answers it. Basically, don't worry about it and still share the products and how it's going to help them. And yeah.
And Jennifer, who just asked that question, has an absolutely amazing story. Like, it's narcolepsy, right, Jennifer? I can't see you, but just say yes or no. And alcohol complications because of that. Like, she was on all kinds of crazy stuff, and because
what a story! What a story! I love that.
I think I said the right word. I hope so. It's where she like would fall asleep all the time. If that's
narcolepsy. That's right.
So anyways, okay, guys, y'all. So I just want you to go today. And if you're not like fueled up and ready to go and like get off this call and just take over the world, then there's something wrong with you. We need to.
You're so sweet.
So
I hope it was helpful.
It was amazing. Thank you so. I mean, my phone is like blowing up with text messages. I haven't even looked at them because I'm like eating on every single word. So, anyways, thank you.
I love that.
Precious. And
well, you guys have an amazing.
I'm just gonna say, I was so jealous of you. You and Brienne's little weekend. How fun is that? So fun.
I know. We had the best time. I just love that girl.
So fun.
It was the best.
Okay, well, we will see you soon. And thank you a million times. And
yes, guys, my honor, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Go take on the day, guys. Thanks.